Hey YouTube, thank you so much for clicking on another video. I've got an interesting one for you today. Recently, Twitch held what's called a town hall meeting on their channel where they discussed a bunch of issues in the community, kind of what they're doing and what they've got coming up to deal with these issues. It was a 2.5 hour long stream. I watched the whole thing, and what I basically did was summarize some of the main bullet points and my thoughts on it. And I went over it with my chat today in stream. So if you missed it and you wanted to catch the main headers, then this video will be good for that. I do also discuss this on my Twitch channel quite a lot. So if you're new here and you wanted to come and ask any questions about this, my link will be in the description. I stream most days. I also run a podcast where we talk specifically about this sort of thing, so you can check that out as well. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. We're trying to hit 400 subs. But I won't keep you. Let's get into the video. So let's see. Have I got the scene set up for it? Yeah, baby. Okay. So I'm going to run through this, and I have some thoughts. My camera's way too bright, or my light is way too bright. There we go. A little better. So, chat. I don't know how many of you watched the town hall, but there was a lot of good information in there. All right? A lot of good information. I feel like this is maybe taking away my... Yeah, let's put it there. So, first of all, the town hall was split into 3 sections. It was split into DMCA, trust and safety, and ads. And then they had a Q&A at the end. All right? So that was the 3 sections this was split into. So I basically just want to run through the highlights of each section. Just to clear it up for anybody that maybe doesn't understand or hasn't had the time to watch the full 2.5 hours. Because I have watched it. You could have helped me make a kick-ass PowerPoint. I don't even have PowerPoint on this PC, so it would have been difficult. So first of all, the DMCA topic. So we know that Twitch launched Twitch Soundtrack fairly recently. And one of the key things of Twitch Soundtrack was it had separate audio tracks, which allowed you to have audio on your stream, music on your stream, and then when that went to Twitch for the VOD, Twitch would filter out all the music, so everything else went onto the VOD minus the music. So you'd still have your game sound and your microphone, any other notifications or whatever, but your music was on a separate track that wouldn't get saved to the VOD. The reason for this was the Twitch soundtrack music was licensed for live performance, but it did not have the necessary license to be saved in a video on demand format. Meaning, if that Twitch soundtrack audio got saved to your VOD, you could get a DMCA for it, but you wouldn't get a DMCA live. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to know. Now, OBS has released an update where apparently they worked with Twitch to have the same feature built into OBS, i.e. separate audio channels. So if you wanted to play your music on an audio channel that wouldn't be saved to the VOD, OBS now allows you to do that. Okay? So it's similar to Twitch Soundtrack, but you can choose what music you want to play. However, this needs to be reiterated, and Twitch confirmed this as well, that this is not designed to help streamers get around DMCA. You can't just listen to copyright music and then it doesn't get saved to your VOD. Reason being, you can still be claimed for live music. You can be claimed while you are live. So Twitch just wanted to reiterate that that is not an excuse to use copyright music on your stream. You should still be only using the music you're licensed to listen to. But it is kind of a cool update through OBS, and Twitch worked with them supposedly to make this work. The next thing on the DMCA side of it is they're adding a lot of features to help streamers manage their content, clips, VODs, etc. Now, as a streamer, you can have, I think it's 2 people that you can assign the role of editor to. And an editor has access to get in and see your VODs, download your VODs, things like that. Now they're giving editors the option and the ability to manage clips. So editors can go in and manage clips, delete clips, whatever. They couldn't do it before, so it's an extra little thing. They're also bringing in a bunch of new features in the future. These are things that are in the works right now. The ability to sort your clips through by like date or what game you were playing, things like that. So for example, if you were hit with a copyright claim from game audio, right? Say, obvious one, say you're playing GTA 5. and you get hit with a copyright claim for something that was in GTA 5, you can go to all your clips once this feature gets released. You can go to all your clips, you can filter it, so I only want to see GTA 5 clips, and you could delete all them, right? So you can filter it out by game. That's coming. They're also bringing in, at some point, the ability to unpublish a VOD, okay? Which is different to deleting a VOD. It will unpublish it, so it's not there to be looked at and watched by viewers. I assume this means it couldn't be hit with the DMCA, but it doesn't actually delete the VOD. So I think that means that you could still go in theory, and download that VOD to save on your PC or whatever, but it will unpublish it. So that's something that's also coming as an option instead of deleting a VOD. They're also working on a batch tool for deleting VODs and things as well. So you could, in theory, just wipe everything if you wanted to. Now, a big one that they also said is coming in the first half of 2021. Your Dmca status will appear on your dashboard. So if anyone has ever received a DMCA or knows anything about DMCA, the way it works at the moment is you just receive an email. You get an email from Twitch, which gives you the information about the DMCA, and that's it. And as Twitch pointed out in the town hall, it's easy to miss an email. So at some point in the first half of 2021, they'll be adding a feature on your dashboard that allows you to see any DMCA claims that come through. It'll give you the ability to track them, to keep on top of how many DMCAs you've had, and to also respond and reply through your Twitch dashboard. So hopefully it won't be missed, right? I think they're worried about people not seeing the email and missing a DMCA. So this is all coming up. They also made mention about their audio detection tool, which I think is called Audio Magic. Or Audible Magic, something like that. Their tool that they use to scan Twitch and mute copyrighted audio. It sounds like it's had some updates, some upgrades, and they are currently in the process of scanning everything to mute VODs, to mute clips, whatever. They think that will be done in about 6 months because there's so much content on Twitch. It's going to take a long time to get through it all. So that's currently going through and scanning. So you may see old VODs getting muted, things like that. Obviously, a mute is nothing to worry about, really. A mute is very different to a DMCA claim. So just be aware that is happening. Okay, so that was kind of the DMCA part of the town hall. Alpha, what's up? Hello. They then moved on to the trust and safety part of the town hall. So, as you may know, there's new policies for, like harassment, hateful conduct, things like that. That are coming in on January 22nd. Okay? Now, they made it clear that if, for example, there's something in the new policy, which currently isn't in the hateful conduct policy, but it will be as opposed to January 22nd, then no enforcement will be taking place on old content. So, for example, if they have said a banned word, as of the January 22nd, this word will be banned. If you said it in a clip before January 22nd, you wouldn't be punished for that, right? They've made it clear that's the way it's going to be working. These new rules are coming into effect on January 22nd, so anything that previously wasn't in this policy won't be punished, if that makes sense. Now, they seemed to reconfirm in this town hall that context matters, which is something they've said before. So what they're saying by that is, harassment is obviously sometimes a difficult thing to pinpoint, and trying to say specifically this word is harassment in some cases might not be as obvious as that. What they're saying for is something such as like friendly banter between people is fine. They're looking at, taking action where that is not reciprocated, right? So when one person maybe believes that we're having banter and the other person is clearly making it that was unwanted, okay? So they're going to look at things such as, if a user has said something and then been timed out and then they've repeated continually saying the same sort of thing, that will be then seen as harassment and that person could be in trouble for that. Right? Whereas if this is just sort of friendly banter between people and everyone's having fun, it sounds like then there's not going to be any action taken, right? So it will be looking at, a streamer to kind of take the the onus on that and say, okay, that's not appropriate, time that person out, ban them. And if that keeps going, then it becomes harassment and they want you to report these sorts of things. So we'll get into other stuff related to that, but they made another point of saying context matters, okay? The next part they talked about was offensive usernames. We've all seen them on Twitch, names that are specifically designed to harass, irritate, generally just bother, viewers, content creators. These things have been going around forever on Twitch. So Twitch has an algorithm which is working to learn, because people are always trying to find ways around, blocked words and things. They have an algorithm that's helping them to learn these names and make sure these are not going through and not being created. But basically what Twitch wanted to make clear was that we should be reporting people with offensive usernames that somehow slip through the cracks, because if we report an offensive username, it helps their algorithm to learn moving forward. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, any other streamers, but for me, if I see someone with an offensive username come in chat, generally it's ban, move on. That's not enough. Twitch want people to report, so that was something that they mentioned. Now we have the issue of the banned words, all right, which is the one that's been going around the internet a lot. So I'm gonna first of all play the clip from the town hall, and then we'll talk about our thoughts on it, okay? So fuck, hang on, I fucked it. Okay, let's jump back like just a few seconds here.
The next question actually is for Sarah. Sarah, there's newer words going around Twitch, which is the word simp. And it's a phrase that the community can still use and make emotes for currently. But when the new policy goes into effect, what are we thinking about that term or that word?
Yeah, great question. So the new policy does include guidelines that say making any derogatory statements about another person's perceived sexual practices, and that does include negatively tagging another person with sexually focused terms. So using terms like simp, incel, or virgin as an insult to negatively refer to another person's sexual activity is not allowed under this new policy. And in addition to the policy change, we're also proactively denying emotes that include the term simp, and we'll remove them when reported, and we'll keep doing that once the policy changes.
Thank you for that clarification.
Okay, so that's effectively all that they said on that exact matter, okay? That is basically all that they said. So here's where I think it gets to a weird gray area. That statement that they said, using terms like virgin, simp, which, are referring to insult someone based on their perceived sexual practices, whatever, is not allowed. That's what they said. Now, earlier in the stream, they mentioned that, context matters. When does it become harassment? When does it become hateful content? That, what they just said, doesn't really sound like context matters in that scenario, which is where I find it's interesting. They just said using those words as an insult is not allowed. Okay? So that sounds to me pretty cut and dry that those are just not allowed. I would like to believe that Twitch hasn't worded that right, and it still comes down to using those words to harass someone is bannable. Using those words in a non-harassing way wouldn't be bannable. That's how I would like to see it, but it doesn't sound that way from what they said. I would love to see some clarification on it. Until I hear clarification, it sounds like from January 22nd, we just don't say those words. The crazy thing to me, though, and I said this on stream yesterday, is that, particularly the word simp is like a new-ish word that started to become popular and be used on the internet. Really, people are just going to make up a new word. People are just going to make a new word, which effectively means the same thing, and just carry on. I don't know if Twitch is thinking about that ahead of time, but Very interesting. Obviously, we're going to talk about this a lot more in depth on the podcast this weekend. So if you want to hear everyone else's thoughts and have a proper full discussion about this, we are going to be talking about this thoroughly on Sunday. But I just wanted to kind of jump in and give my thoughts on it. It's interesting. It doesn't sound very much like context matters. And in my experience, context on Twitch has always been a difficult thing. We've seen people get banned when perhaps the context is that they shouldn't be banned. We've seen people not be banned when probably the context dictates that they should be. It's interesting. It feels to me like Twitch operates on a shoot first, ask questions later kind of model. Personally, for me, until I get clarification, I think we just don't say those words, which is, you know, you can think what you think. I definitely have my thoughts on it, but it seems like that's the way it's going. So that was kind of what they said. You have until the 22nd of January to read up on the new policies regarding, you know, harassment, things like that. So I advise you to go and look that up and have a read through it if you are a content creator or streamer. So the next thing, and kind of the final part of their presentation, was all to do with ads. Ads has been a hot button topic on the platform for a little while. So kind of running through the bullet points I have here. You may remember that a few months ago, Twitch tested out mid-roll ads, where they would just randomly throw a mid-roll ad onto a stream. This was done as a test to get feedback. And from what the monetization lead or whoever it was that was on the stream, from what they were saying, it sounds like that is not going to be coming back in the same form as it was. They are aware that there was a lot of negative feedback from viewers and creators on the platform. So mid-roll ads, it doesn't seem like it's something they're going to be going ahead with. However, they did make it make a good point of saying that ads are very important to the platform. They are what keep Twitch free, because Twitch is a free platform. You can watch whatever you know, for the most part, whatever you want for free. And I think we can all agree that that shouldn't change. We want Twitch to remain a free platform. So ads are important to that. They're not going anywhere. Now they've mentioned again about creators having control to run ads, which is something I have experience in. At the start of every stream, I run a 180-second ad. If you've ever clicked on the stream as soon as it goes live, you've maybe seen it. The reason I do this is because if I run a 180-second ad, it will disable pre-roll ads. Now, for 180 seconds of ads, it disables pre-rolls for half an hour. Meaning that those 3 minutes of ads run, and then the next 30 minutes, anybody who clicks on the stream should not see a pre-roll ad. Now, pre-roll ads, I don't know about you guys, but they are one very quick way to just put off a new viewer. If you click on a channel and you get a pre-roll, a lot of people are going to click away. So running a mid-roll, which is effectively what I'm doing, disables those pre-roll ads and, you know, makes it a better experience for new people coming into the channel. I personally will always run 3 minutes right at the start. The reason I do it right at the start is because I'm in my intro screen. You're not missing any content. You're just missing the intro, if you are even in the channel at that early part of the stream. Now, we've talked about it a lot on the podcast before, but ads are something that creators need to have a lot of content over. The main argument on mid-roll ads being a problem was that you had no control of when they would pop up. Okay? Mid-roll ads, when they tested them, sometimes popped up at crucial moments. You're watching a streamer, they're about to win, they're about to complete a boss fight, you get an ad pop up and you miss the moment. You know, you're watching a battle royale, they're maybe in the top 3, and an ad pops up and you miss important parts of the stream. That is a bad experience for viewers. Twitch know that, they understand that. So the reason that they're saying that this is important is because running ads, having a creator have the option to run ads, allows you to make it so that that doesn't happen. So what they're suggesting as a streamer is that, you know, if you time your ads, so maybe you're taking a quick break, run an ad, and then you know that streamers or viewers aren't going to get ads at a crucial moment, right? It's difficult. It's tough. I don't think streamers really generally like running ads. I know I don't, but it definitely seems important. Now, Twitch gave us an interesting statistic as well, and this is according, you know, right from the town hall. They said, quote, viewers are 5 times more likely to stay through a mid-roll ad than they are through a pre-roll. Okay, this is interesting. I've never seen any data on this, so I'm gonna have to just take Twitch at their word on this. Pre-roll ads, I know for me personally, when I click on a channel and I see a pre-roll, a lot of the time I will click away to something else because I just don't want to sit through a pre-roll ad, right? Mid-roll ads, according to Twitch, viewers are 5 times more likely to stay through it. Now, the difference with a mid-roll ad is with a mid-roll, you generally get picture-in-picture, which means the stream gets put in a small box above the chat so you can still see what's happening on the stream, albeit in a small window, and the ad takes up the main window. All right, so this is perfect in theory if a streamer's taking a 5-minute break, maybe they're, run to the bathroom, they're getting a drink or something to eat, they can run a mid-roll ad. The viewers can see, well, I'm not missing anything, it's just a chair. And they run an ad, which disables pre-rolls, so you don't have people coming in and catching ads. Which, from a streamer's point of view, you don't want a brand new person to click on your channel and see an ad and bounce before they even see any of your content, right? Ideally, you want a new person to come in and you want to catch them with your content as quick as possible so they stick around, okay? So, it's an interesting thing. I think Twitch are really, really trying to push streamers to be running more ads. And they really did make it, they pushed in the town hall that we want streamers to be running ads, and because it gives them more control, it gives streamers more ad revenue. If you are streaming on Twitch, you know that the CPM is not great. And certainly as a smaller channel, you're not making much money on ads. But for me, personally, my thoughts are maybe it's a smart idea to just run a mid-roll when I'm taking a small break from stream, and then it prevents those pre-rolls coming in at an awkward time. You at least having control over when those ads happen mean that you can be running ads when you know there's not particularly high important moments happening in your stream. So that's an interesting thing. There's a couple new features coming in terms of ads, which again, we've predicted many times Twitch is pushing ads. They're going to be adding new features. So they're working on something which is called an auto ad manager or an ad manager in your dashboard. Streamers can set ads to run at an interval they want and have it run automatically, meaning that you can set up an automatic ad button. So instead of you having to manually go, all right, well, I'm going to step away, let's run an ad and click the button, you can have it set up on an automatic thing. So if you, for example, like I said, I run 180 seconds of ads, it gives me half an hour of ad-free time on my stream. If I, in theory, wanted to run 3 minutes of ads every half an hour, I could set that up. Now, that might be overkill. That's really down to each creator to decide. But if I did that and run 180 seconds of ads every 30 minutes, there would be no pre-rolls on my channel. I do think that that's extreme, but you can kind of set that to your own liking if you wanted to. It's an interesting feature. Again, giving streamers a bit more control over their content, their ads is great. And if you wanted to think of it as like a television show or whatever, and you can have an ad set to run once every hour. So as the streamer, when it hits the top of the hour, okay, there's an ad, I can step away for a second and come back. It's something to be certainly looked at. This will be available to all partners and affiliates early 2021. They didn't give us a specific date, but it will be available to everyone who has the ability to run ads. So it's interesting. Now, there's another feature that they did mention, which it looks like they're in the early stages of testing. I hadn't personally heard about this until I watched the town hall this morning, but it is something called multiplayer ads. So I don't know how much of an understanding I got from the town hall. It didn't seem super clear to me, which is why I've written in my notes here, unsure specifically. But it looks to have some kind of community engagement built in with the ad, where the streamer can be rewarded with bits for that ad. Okay, so the example they kind of gave was maybe a brand runs a multiplayer ad, or a brand gives a streamer the option to run a multiplayer ad. And for example, maybe it is a company that makes snacks, right? And the ad will say, hey, X company, which flavor of snack do you prefer? And it will give a bunch of options, and the community will be able to take part like a poll. So the community can then vote, which flavor of this product do I like better? And the way that kind of then rewards the streamer, it sounds like, is, based on the amount of community interaction, the amount of people in your chat that take part and engage with the poll, the streamer will get a reward in the form of some bits, direct, compensation to the streamer from the ad. And also it gives the brand direct feedback. So the brand are actually getting, feedback on their ads, right? Which could be valuable to a brand. I mean, who knows how much Twitch chat is going to be receptive to this, but in theory, it's a good idea for the brand because they're getting that feedback from them. So I didn't really see much on when that's coming. It's a feature that they're still testing. It might or might not go ahead, but it looks like an interesting approach to ads, bringing the community. After this, they did have a bit of a Q&A where they just dived a little bit deeper into all this. But these are just kind of my thoughts on the whole Twitch Town Hall. Like I say, we're going to be discussing this much more in depth on Sunday in our podcast, which is twitch.tv/Zero Strategy Podcast. Check that out. Come and give us thoughts. This will be going up on YouTube chat, so if you missed the start and you want to see any of my hot takes and thoughts, throw it up on there. But yeah, that's really it. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I appreciate it.